Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Masters of the Universe Revelations, the Netflix show created by Kevin Smith, the one that has angered so many people. And yeah, and there's an extremely good reason why. See, a lot of people assumed that this would be just another He-Man remake. It would have been the fourth He-Man series in the franchise. Now, I've already made and uploaded a video about all the pilot episodes to every He-Man show. I just uploaded it, so you can go and watch that. Because it's been 4 different series. And, well, this one, this is the one that just really disappointed so many people. Kind of like the 1990 series. The one that only lasted for 1 season and had He-Man go into the future. And it had a complete redesign of all the characters. The reason why this show is so diverse and has pissed so many people off, including myself, is what it did to He-Man in the first episode and what it did to Prince Adam in the 5th episode. And a lot of other stuff in between. See, Kevin Smith announced that he was going to make a He-Man show. I believe he said it was like a passion project of his, something about like how he used to like it back in the day and stuff like that. However, a lot of people were extremely excited. When the trailer dropped, everybody was thrilled. Then certain things started to leak, especially our comic book. And one of the things that leaked was apparently this was a bait and switch. Apparently this entire series and the premise was just a red herring. And a lot of people were really upset because they were expecting to get a show about He-Man. Instead, this was a show about Teela. Everything about this entire series, from the first episode to the last episode, is all about Teela. And a lot of people was very confused by this. We didn't understand just exactly why this was happening and why Netflix and Kevin Smith lied. Because, you know, we've already gotten a She-Ra show on Netflix. So when they announced they were making a He-Man one, people was thrilled, you know, because the She-Ra one, even though I never saw that, because I can't get past the animation, a lot of people have mixed feelings about that. Now, this series, for the most part, the only episode I really like is the first episode. I don't like any other episode after that. A lot of these episodes seem very pointless. It was just a journey through Eternia to, you know, restore magic and everything to the land after what happened in the first episode. And it was like, when I say it was pointless, I mean it was truly pointless. Not a whole lot importance happened. It was just dull and boring. In fact, when did this come out? Like 2-3 weeks ago? I just now finished this. After the first episode, I watched the second one. And then after that, I decided I'm just like, screw it. I'll just like take my time. Well, a couple of nights ago, I decided to watch the rest. And then when I got to the 4th episode, I kid you not, I fell asleep twice trying to watch the 4th episode. I finally finished the 4th episode tonight. And then I decided to finish the 5th. And I just can't believe what all they did in this series. Now, if you've ever watched my videos, you know that I'm not toxic in any kind of way like that. I'm all for diversity. I'm all for representation. I'm all for like having everybody have their fair due. However, when it is the check mark system, in my other videos, as you know, I don't like that. And quite frankly, this series got check marked. Now, for now, you're pretty like familiar with the term woke culture. Basically, it's like SJW type stuff, social justice warriors, where it wants to show representation among everybody and not just white straight males. It's like a push for people of color, women, and the LGBT to finally have their due in Hollywood instead of people of color always being the villain and having to be defeated by the white person, or a woman that is strongly independent and not a doofus or a whore or like anything like that, or somebody who just gets like dumped on. And as for the LGBT, for them to be represented in a positive light instead of just like mere jokes. It is also a culture to where whitewashing will stop being available and have actual people of the actual race play these characters, whether it's in live action or it's voice work. The problem with most modern day woke culture is that it's too forced and it's not original. Nothing flows. Most things are checkmark. Not in every modern day show, but a good number of them. And they cast people who aren't really that well good acting, writing, directing, producing, stuff like that, because they are trying their extreme best to change from the past of them oppressing people. I'm all for them, all the whole diversity thing. All I ask is that get people who actually know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And things won't be so bad. And then this little cult known as the Fandom Menace won't have to complain all the time. Now, in terms of woke culture in this series, they forced it upon once again, making Tila this overbearing, unlikable character. They think that they are creating a strong, powerful woman by her appearance and her bluntness, her arrogance, her rudeness, but that's not what makes a strong woman a strong woman. Being a strong person is more than just acting like a jerk. It's about knowing who you are, what you are, and being able to take care of business without so much the need of other people. And then when you do need help, you're not afraid to ask for it. Being a strong character is a person who is intelligent, who is self-aware, who can lead, who can survive certain situations. A strong character is like just like a really independent person with lots of good strengths that make them a moral person. It's not all about running off the mouth, thinking you're tougher than other people, being arrogant, being rude, being self-absorbed. And that's really how Tila came off in this series. When she discovered who He-Man was, her best friend, Prince Adam, she just went into like crap mode. She could not see straight. And as a result, she abandoned everybody she's ever cared and loved for and her mission in life and just deserted everybody. And she chopped off her hair and did this like weird like hairstyle thing that's very modern now. And it's like, I get she was upset. Prince Adam was her best friend in the whole wide world. They grew up together. He-Man was a person who was her ally. They fought so many battles together and saved like the planet and stuff. So I get why she's completely upset. But what I don't understand is like why she got so upset to the point where she just abandoned hope. She abandoned everything. She abandoned her people. She abandoned her mission. And she did all that all because she was deceived. But she had to be deceived. The sorceress told He-Man and the other ones that found out his identity, you are not allowed to reveal your identity to no one. Because of course, if you are a hero and your bad guy finds out who you are, they will hurt you by hurting your loved ones. And if they know who you are, they will be able to find a way to kill you in your human form and then take your power. And Tila, as smart as she is, she should have known this and seen this, but she couldn't. She couldn't get past her own like self entitlement and stuff. She felt that she should know everything and people should always tell her stuff and nobody should deceive her. But if she was sworn a secrecy, she would of course have to uphold it. And that's what Adam did. It got so bad when she turned her back on her adoptive father. One of her friends, Cringer, the talking cat, Oracle, and let's see, what else? Prince Adam's mom, the queen. And it's just like, I just don't get why they wrote her like that. And she's the lead, but she's unlikable. And every time she would talk or do something or say something, she just got on my nerves. And the other part about the whole woke culture when it comes to her is that in the first episode, everybody just kept praising her. I get it. It was her celebration because she became a man of arms. And it's like this elite fighting force. And it's kind of like everybody was just telling her how great, how special she is, what an amazing person she is. The king, man of arms, her dad Duncan, Prince Adam, everybody else. Everybody just kept hyping her up. And it's kind of like, if you are truly that awesome, that powerful, that skilled, you don't need people telling you that for encouragement. You know that already, and it's best to see it and not say it. You know, and that's one thing that's really plaguing Hollywood right now when it does come to woke culture, because they want to tell and not show. And if they do show, they show it in a bad light. And so it's like, you know, after that first episode, then after that, she, like I said before, she goes on her merry little way and becomes like a mercenary type person, a person who helps other people. And then it's like in one episode, because she's so pissed off at both Prince Adam and He-Man, that when her new friend, what many people believe is her lover, especially with the hairstyle and how they are, her friend was making fun of He-Man. Because, you know, in 2 episodes, there are flashbacks of Tila and He-Man. And when Tila's telling a story, you know, He-Man talks a certain way. Old school superhero stuff, you know. And her friend, I think her friend name is Audrey, I think. I can't remember. And it's like, she was just straight up making fun of He-Man. And I'm just like, why are they bashing this dude? And it's like, you know, He-Man is a legendary figure. He's had so many shows, and it's like he has saved the world multiple times. He is a true hero, and this show just wanted to not only kill him off, but bash him at the same time. And it's just like, I don't get it. That's not female empowerment when you have to bash somebody. Feminism is, the old school one is about equality. Showing that you know, you are just as strong as a man, you are the equal. However, new feminism is all about showing that you are better than a man. And that's exactly what all these shows certainly now are doing. And then the thing is, like, is it Netflix's fault? Is it Kevin Smith's fault? Like, you know, I don't know. You know, because at some point the truth is going to come out. But for right now, in part 1 of this Masters of the Universe Revelation show, you know, it's only 5 episodes. And the second part's coming out later on. I'm hoping they fix the things that like have angered people, but who knows. However, when it comes to Kevin Smith, I mean, it's Kevin Smith. Like, what do you really expect? It was revealed that he's actually not even a He-Man fan. There's a video footage of him saying how he can't really stand that character and stuff like that. Then, you know, Kevin Smith, I mean, he doesn't even hang out with Ben Affleck no more because he wasn't allowed to. Because when Ben was married to Jennifer Gardner, she would not allow Ben and Kevin to hang out because of Kevin's very out there personality and grossness and stuff, and she just couldn't take it. So she made her husband not play with his best friend no more. So that should kind of like tell you something. Not only that, but the dude made Batman pee his pants in Batman Year One. And if you make Batman pee himself, you know that whatever Kevin's going to create isn't probably going to be all that great. Now, a lot of people are saying, why? Why did they lie to us? Why did they deceive us and everything? Why couldn't they just be forthcoming? Well, the reason why is because of the Phantom Menace cult. The trolls, the internet trolls, the people who attack just for the sake of attacking because they feel their white privilege is being attacked. It's the same people who, the moment they hear a show is about to be made or a movie about like a female lead or a character being race bent or like a LGBT lead, they hop on YouTube and they just complain and they complain and they complain and they complain. They are a little hate group. And what they do is like a new form of lynching, but it's like online. They want people to hate strong women, LGBT characters, and people of color. And it's because they feel they are getting replaced in Hollywood because Hollywood is becoming more diverse. And they don't like that. They want Hollywood to go back to the old ways of having nothing but white people on screen, having people of color being played by white people, and having people of color being the bad person while the white savior rides in and saves the day. People are tired of that. People are tired of being made fun of in their culture and their race and stuff. And so if anybody really is to blame for the whole bait and switch, it's them, plain and simple as that. Because they had to lie to everybody else. Because if they would have said the show been about Tila and not He-Man, then they would have went nuts. And they did go nuts. I mean, just look at some of these comments and pictures and YouTube videos that they make. It is utter disgusting. And the thing is that they go on the attack before they even watch it or even before they get all the information and stuff. It's like they hear a little something and they hop on YouTube and they run off the mouth. And this is what they do for hours and hours and they do this every day. It's very disgusting. Very, very disgusting. I mean, look at this new character that's black, King Grayskull. One of the executive producers of the show or creators of the show or something like that, he came out with a statement. See, King Grayskull, he's not from the old He-Man comic books or cartoon series. He's from the 2002 series, the show that kind of reimagined He-Man. It made Skeletor He-Man's uncle, and it came out with King Grayskull. Now, in the 2002 series, King Grayskull is He-Man and She-Ra's ancestor. And in this new series, it is not related to that whatsoever. This is a completely different King Grayskull. He was the first champion, the first person to hold the power sword. And they decided they're going to race bend him for the show because there aren't that many people of color in the He-Man show. Pretty much everybody in the He-Man show is white. So they wanted some diversity. And I believe one of those people that I was telling you about, he said, like one of those creative people, he said that it would have been problematic to have like two muscular white guys being like the savior in a cartoon series. So they decided to make one black. Well, there's this one woman on YouTube, this angered her. Well, actually, it made her a little depressed because it for some reason, she was offended by that. She was offended that she wasn't going to get two muscular white guys to save the day. And instead, they was going to race bend that character. And it's like, you know, that literally upset her. Like, I kid you not, I watched her entire video. That upset her. I don't get her reasoning for that whatsoever. It's like, is she not okay with people of color? Is all she wants to see is white people on TV? Honestly, I think it is. Because that's how this little cult operates and everything. And it is a literal online hateful cult. They are the new white supremacy, but they just do it online. And they think they're doing a service, but all they're doing is making white people look bad, which is what something you see reflected in Hollywood now, because now with the whole woke culture, white people are made to look like idiots or the villain, mostly white males. And when you think about it, these people are like scum. They're pretty disgusting and vile. It's just they hammer on about something that doesn't fit their narrative. I mean, when you saw those headlines, like you will see and hear them talking about how He-Man's being replaced by a black guy. Or talking about, oh, the two He-Mans, or they lied to us, there's going to be a black He-Man in the second part of like the series. No, there's not. When you watch that 5th episode, you will clearly see that the black He-Man dude is no longer He-Man. He was the first. He's not replacing the former He-Man. He's not coming back from the dead. Like, he's very much in like heaven, and that's where he wants to stay. And it's just like these people, they lie, and they lie for clicks. They lie for you to read their articles. They lie for you to watch their video, and they lie to get paid by YouTube. And it's just this. It's like, it's disgusting and vile, man. It's like these people are sick in the head. If anything, the new He-Man is probably going to be Teela, probably, because, you know, the whole first part of this season focused all around her and how she's this like strong character and all this other stuff. And they're really building her up to be like, you know, the next big thing. Now, one thing that was very shocking about this series is that there was no like good male leads in this series. The thing about He-Man back in the old days, He-Man was for the boys and She-Ra was for the girls, and they were there to sell toys. And, you know, but you know, anybody can love the show, whatever you want. Like, anybody can love it, anybody can watch it. But that's how it was back in like the 80s and stuff. And so, like, with this new series, they decided that they was only gonna make all the females strong and empowered and all the men weak and everything. They've killed so many male characters on the show. It's not even funny. Like, and I was surprised at all the male characters they killed. He-Man and Prince Adam dead. And not only is he dead, but he's doubly dead, because after He-Man died, Prince Adam went to like their version of heaven, and they was told that if you leave there for whatever reason, you can't come back, and when you die, you're dead. And he leaves, and what happens after he leaves? Boom, he dies. Skeletor, he died, but he came back to life. Oracle, he dies. Mossman, yeah, you better believe he dies too. Then there's Roboto, he dies as well. And then when it comes to Duncan, Man of Arms, he's made to look like a betrayer, a failure. And he gets like crapped on by like Teela throughout the entire series. And it's just pathetic, man. It's just like there are no strong male leads whatsoever. Like even Oracle. Oracle has never been like a strong, like powerful character. But he's always been a resourceful person. He is a smart person. And on the 3rd episode, no, the 4th episode, throughout that entire episode, all he does is talk about how much he sucks, how much of a failure he is, how he's not good at anything. And because he is dying because all the magic has been sucked out of Eternia. And so when he's telling the stories of like how his name's not even really Oracle. His parents wanted to name him after a strong, powerful, like seer. And as he's explaining who that, the name of that person is, Evil Lyn answers for him. Like, he couldn't even answer for himself. His name was supposed to be Oracle, but he mispronounced it and said Oracle. And so, and that's what his parents just decided to name him and everything. And so it's like, he spends literally the entire, I'm not even kidding, the entire episode dumping on himself. And then after that, he gets into a huge battle with this like evil person, and he's finally having his moment. He's finally showing that how powerful he is, even though his magic is weak at this point in time. And he's getting the best of this dude, but it's too much for him, and he blows up. He is seemingly dead. Is he really dead? Like, I don't know. But for now, it's made to show that he is dead. But then again, you just never know with this series because Skeletor came back alive. Then, in more like male bashing, there's Roboto. And he is an artificial intelligence based off the neural pathways of Duncan Man of Arms. And it's like, okay, in the first episode, this is all what happened. Let me explain what happened in some of these episodes. In the first episode, Tila is about to become a man of arms. Skeletor attacks Castle Grayskull. The sorceress is trying to fight him off, but can't. She calls He-Man, and then He-Man goes there to save the day. And then Skeletor kills Moss Man, and because of that, He-Man kills Skeletor. But then he does it, but Skeletor is standing behind the object, and the sword is kind of like the key to open this object. Inside is all the magic of Victoria. I'm getting like tongue-tied. the planet they live on. And Skeletor cracks it open, and because of that, it's going to destroy all the life on that planet. He-Man decides that, hey, my power sword, maybe I can use it to draw all the energy and the magic into my sword. The sword, he does that. The sword like separates. And then, boom, him and Skeletor die in the explosion because there was just too much magical current going through their bodies and stuff. And then after that, that's when Duncan tells like the king and queen that Adam was He-Man, he dies, and then Tila gets all pissed off. In the second episode, we see Tila. She's now shaved her head off, and she's hanging out with her friend Audrey, and they're now like they're like people for hire. They rescue people, they save people, stuff like that. And there's one lady, she recruits them, and then they do like the hero thing, and then it revealed that lady was using a glamour spell. It was Evil Lynn, and Evil Lynn is now working with the sorceress. Why? Because the sorceress is dying. All the magic is dying. And if all magic dies, then Eteria will die as well. So she tells them they need the sword and they need to reforge it. But the sword is missing. They have to go looking for it. And since Evil Lynn is magical, she can kind of like hone in on kind of like where is that kind of. The third episode is extremely pointless. Basically, it's like this. There's a flashback, and then that's the part where Audrey is like making fun of He-Man, just like bashing him and stuff. And so then like they need to go like across the ocean and try to reforge the sword, but they need to find somebody who can reforge it. Well, the only person who can do that is Duncan Man of Arms. When him and Tila reunite, she wants nothing to do with him. She berates him. She's really angry. She will not listen to him. She's so hurt that nobody told her that He-Man and Adam was the same. So then he wants to come and help them on their mission because they have to like go overseas and go on a boat and stuff like that. She doesn't want nothing to do with him. She wants him to go back to the castle, Grayskull, and help protect the sorceress. And so like Roboto, since he has his neural pathways, she says he can reforge the sword, which technically he should be able to. So then they go on the boat, and on the boat, it's that one dude, the little merman type person, the fish dude that Skeletor always hangs out with. And so he's attacking like the boat and stuff. And so then when they were Evil Lynn, the beast looking monster dude, he is now like a servant of hers. He feels that since they fought so long, so hard together, that he will protect her with his life. He is literally like a servant to her. Like he's not even a strong male lead, and he's always been a strong male lead and stuff in the other series. So they get the best of the merman and he leaves them alone and stuff like that. Like I said before, it's a very pointless episode. Then in the fourth episode, they're at this place and they're trying to look for the power sword because it's split in half and they're looking for it. They're looking at, and so the place they enter, well, Oracle, he's really weak. He's to the point where he's almost dying. And Lynn, she's not looking so good too, but she still is a whole lot better than him. She just can't use her magic, but she's not like dying like he is and stuff. And so they go to this place and it's like this little demon dude who likes to prey on people's fears. And so everybody has to fight like their greatest fear and all these little fear monsters and stuff like that. This is the episode where Oracle just basically just berates himself and talking about how much of a loser he is. And so him and Lynn, they're trying to do their best to fight off these monsters, but they can't because they don't have that much magic. But then she realizes, hey, if she can combine her magic with his, they can best these dudes. And they do. Then as for Audrey, she was fighting off the evil people with Roboto. And Roboto is an artificial intelligence, and he's not even appears to be that smart. Because Audra had to like figure out how to defeat these little demon dudes. And like he couldn't even figure it out. And he's a stinking robot and everything. And it was just there to make him look weak. And so after that, then we get the Tila part. And the Tila, she is talking about her greatest fear. And her greatest fear was so much that she lost faith, and she lost faith in Adam, and she's so pissed off that He-Man and Adam was the same, and everybody just lied to her. Basically, it's like this. You tell one lie to her, and it's like everything's over with her. And so then she regains her confidence, and she's able to, she starts glowing and everything. And one thing is they keep hinting to is the Sorceress and Tila. They're actually mother and daughter, but Tila doesn't know that. And when she finds out, ooh, she's gonna be pissed. And so she kind of defeats the fairy dude, but not really. And then so somehow the sword, I think, appears. I forget how. And then so like, woohoo, they got like one half of the sword. And they have to use the sword to find the other half. And as they open up a portal to go inside, here comes the demon dude. So that's when Oracle fights him off and sacrifices his life. Now, when they're in heaven, that's when they meet all the people who are good, who died there, like Adam. And so they're there, and her and Adam, they're trying to like find like the sword and stuff. He gives it to her. He has the other half. So they're gonna forge it together. And so like they're there and he's showing her around. They're on like these little this thing. And once again, they're shown to make her stronger than him. He is riding along with the other people, and she constantly has to like save him because he's about to fall off. And it's just like they're the same age, but yet she looks so much older and bigger than him. And I don't understand why they constantly making him look weak. So then that's when the whole King Grayskull thing comes in, the black dude that pissed off so many white people and stuff. And then, you know, they're telling stories of this and that. They tell him, plain and simple, if you leave here and you die, like that's it. Like you're gone. You know what I'm saying? Now let's get to the Roboto part in the sword. They meet this dude in heaven. He's supposed to like kind of know how to like forge both the swords together. But he looks like an imbecile to the point where he's clacking both the swords together because he can't figure out how to do it. And it's just like, it's them making fun of men like once again. And so you would think Roboto would know how to like forge the swords because he has Duncan's memories. But he is not able to figure out. Audra is. And it's just like, gee, like what is the point in having these men here? So he forges the sword, but it's too much energy and it blows him up. And in a very touching, heartfelt scene, he tells them for the first time in his life, he actually feels emotion. At least he thinks he does. Because he's an artificial intelligence who has no emotions, but he fears something for the first time. And fear is an emotion. So he's having a heartfelt moment in a human moment. And it's so touching. And then he fades away and he dies. And it's like they're killing off every dude in the show. So then they all leave from heaven and they go back to the land of the living. And they're attacked by some of Skeletor's old people. So then they go into Castle Grayskull. And, you know, he calls upon the power, and then when he does that, all the magic is restored. Then we see like this clouded figure come out of Evil Lynn's bag. It's Skeletor's little staff head thing of the goat thing. And Skeletor is alive. And as soon as Adam is about to transform into He-Man, Skeletor straight up stabs him from the back. And he tells them, you know, even though he died, the only part, when he died, he put his essence inside Lynn's staff. And so he tells her straight up, you know, come fight by my side and everything. And she does it without hesitation. After she turned good, after all these years, she turns back evil. And then to add salt into the wound, Skeletor calls upon the power. And he transforms into the master of the universe. And it's just like, and it ends like that. And then, of course, Adam is dead now. And so we don't know what's going to happen in part 2. After just looking at the picture now as I'm editing it, as you can see, Prince Adam is stabbed near his side. There's a good possibility he survived that. Because in most TV medium and even in real life, you can survive that as long as it doesn't puncture a major organ and stuff. Plus, you gotta also remember, the sorceress lady, she is magical. She might be able to heal his wounds. So we'll find out in the second part. I will say that even though Skeletor is evil and he totally screwed like He-Man and stuff, it was kind of cool to see him finally do what he's always wanted to do. He's always wanted the power, and now he finally has it after all these decades and stuff. But the dude is still evil. And that's literally what happened in all 5 episodes. It was just pointless and boring. The only 2 good episodes were the first one and the last one. And the last one was just so depressing because of all the bad stuff that happened. Like 3 people end up dying in the stinking 3rd episode. And it's just like Teela is such an unlikable character and she is the lead. Now, if I had to say anything positive about this show, the animation. My God, it is gorgeous. It's about as great as the 2002 series. Like, I mean, the computer generated stuff that they did with this and the colors, the bright, vibrant colors. God, it is gorgeous. It looks so much better than that She-Ra thing. Like I said before, I can't even watch She-Ra. I can get past the animation. But the animation in this, man, it is phenomenal. However, one problem I do have with this animation is how huge everybody is and how muscular everybody is. Like, some people have muscles that really shouldn't even have muscles, and it's just kind of distracting. Like, okay, male or female, I don't really care, but when you draw somebody with huge bulky muscles and have them really tall in animation, it can be a little distracting. You have to slim them down a little bit and not have so many like bulging muscles, you know. He-Man in this is giant size. Like, he is like Hulk size. And it's like they should have like streamlined him down a little bit. Teela, on the other hand, she just looks bizarre in this. She doesn't look like she's proportioned right. They made her taller than everybody in this. They gave her somewhat of a tiny head and this really like big muscular body, and it's just like there are times where she's bigger than most people on screen. She is just that huge, and when you stand her up next to somebody, she just looks strange. And she just has like a very strange look to her. They didn't proportion her right. Like, take Wonder Woman from any cartoon series. In the original Bruce Timm one, he gave her a very slim body and a tiny little head, and she looked perfect on screen for that. Then, in all her animated movies, Bruce Timm changed it up and gave her muscles. Every time he did, he made sure she was proportioned right. Nothing was too big, nothing was too small. She had like nice muscles on her and stuff. Now, muscles on like a female are great in real life. I really like seeing that. But when you do an animation, you just have to proportion it right, and it just didn't look right when it came to Tila and stuff. Evil Lyn had muscles too, which is strange because this version of Evil Lyn doesn't do hand-to-hand combat. She just uses her magic, so why would she need muscles for? In the 2002 series, she actually did hand-to-hand combat, so it would make sense of why she had it. Duncan, Man of Arms, he's too thick in this. Like, he's thick and muscular, and he's just really huge. I don't understand why everybody is so big in this thing. Now, as for Audrey, I think that's her name. I can't really remember. She looks okay. She has muscles. It makes sense for her to have muscles. But I don't like her character, how chatty she is. She will not shut up. She's always rambling about something. Also, what's kind of interesting and odd about this is like, she's really close friends with Tila. I don't think they explain how they met. But one thing I've noticed about this, she's supposed to be a supporting character. And I'm pretty sure she's her love interest. So you think she will be actually like shown more. But sometimes she isn't. Like, she's on the mission with them, and she pops in and then she pops out. And then sometimes you always see her behind Tila, never so much in front of her. And it's just kind of strange. It's kind of like, are you her friend, girlfriend, or like her little like pet or something like that? Like, stop standing behind her and stand in front of her. Now, Skeletor looks great in this. He's proportioned right and everything. So the other, like some of the other characters, like the dude with the multiple eyes, he's just too big. And it's just like the Beast Man, fine, because he's like a beast dude, you know. But it's like, I don't understand why everybody is like 2 times the size of what they should be. Now, as for the voice cast, I like everybody's voice in this except for 2 people. I don't like Prince Adam's voice. I'm pretty sure Prince Adam is the same dude who voices He-Man. His He-Man voice is totally awesome. I like his He-Man voice. But his Prince Adam voice just sounds weird and strange and stuff. It doesn't fit the way his character is like drawn. The other character voice I really don't like is Tila. Now, I love Sarah Michelle Gellar. I love her to death. You know, she was Buffy. But her voice was all wrong for how this character was drawn. This character is drawn very tall, very muscular, very strong, and Sarah has like a very squeaky sounding voice. It just doesn't match the animation. It would have been fine for like the 2002 series, but it's not okay here. Like, I'm happy she gets work because she needs work. I don't understand why she doesn't get more work. Like Ringer, that's shown on the CW, it wasn't that bad. They just rushed some of the storylines, and that what made it bad. But it was actually a pretty cool show. And I don't understand like why Hollywood just will not hire her no more. But she was totally miscast for like this cartoon series. Let's see some other characters in this. Cringer. He doesn't do much. He only shows up in like 2 episodes, or maybe 2.5, and that's just about it. Oracle. I don't like how he just berated himself. And it's just like, he feels he's a failure because He-Man died and stuff, but it's like, dude, that's not your fault. And then he just, like, literally in the 4th episode, he constantly berated himself, and then he sacrificed himself. He only had one heroic moment, and then he dies. Now, other characters we know from the cartoon series, the dude with the tall neck, the Birdman, and the Bugman, they don't show up in this. They only show up for like cameos, but that's about it. The Beast dude, He was just a lackey. He was a lackey and a servant to evil Lynn, and that's literally it. He was a whole lot tougher than every other series I ever seen him in. Duncan Man of Arms. Like, he's one of the most courageous characters in all of He-Man, and they made him into a shriveling old man who feels bad and feel like he constantly has to apologize to Tila. I think there was even one episode where he's just like, I think he was even like about to get on his hands and knees and beg for her forgiveness, and she told him she don't want it and stuff. They just made him look like a weak man and stuff. I'm hoping part two will be so much better than part one. I hope they redeem themselves. I don't know if part two's even been made yet. With all the backlash, it's like Netflix need to listen to it and fix things. And whoever fault it is for the reason why this show ended up to be the way it is, they need to be fired. Plain and simple as that. They need to be fired. Now, a good prime example of really good female empowerment, and I always have to go back to the well, is Xena. Xena Warrior Princess. Xena was a tall, strong, courageous woman. And, you know, she didn't take crap from nobody. But not only did she have, now she had weak male characters and she also had weak female characters. But she also had strong female characters and strong male characters. And even though she would beat up on the strong male characters, those male characters were still strong male characters. When they entered a room, they had a presence about them. They had respect, whether it was a good guy or a bad guy. And it's like, she was really shown to be made like to their equal and stuff, even though she would overpower them and stuff because she is the lead. And yeah, she had an attitude too, but like her attitude was mostly in like, oh, you annoy me kind of way, or like, I don't like you because you're bad. Not the way Tila does it. Tila's just grumpy now to be grumpy because she got lied to and stuff, or deceived. But the thing about Xena is Xena's also an extremely nice and sweet woman. And she jokes around with her friends. And it's like she gives like all these moral life lessons. And she doesn't have to constantly have people be around her telling her how great and awesome you are. When people do that, she doesn't like it. And she tells them to stop. She knows her limits. She knows her place. She knows her role in life. And it's like, that was 90s writing, you know. She didn't have to be told how awesome she was. We actually got to see it when she would save people's lives and beat up on all the bad people. Other great courageous women were also from Legend of the Seeker. I don't talk about this much. I really should. I haven't even watched it in a long time. It's one of my favorite shows. Kaylin and Kara, they were two of the strongest women I've ever seen on TV. They were even better than the male characters and stuff. They were courageous, they were strong, they were, at times they could be self-reliant or they rely on other people. Yeah, they had attitudes here and there, but for Kara, you know, the one, the one with the brown hair, she was only mean to people who were truly evil. Now, the other one with the blonde hair, she was just mean to be mean. First started off as evil, but then later on turned good. And so, you know, she kind of had that anti-hero-ness to her. But it's kind of like, these were characters that never had to be told how awesome they are and everything. They showed how awesome they were when they sacrificed themselves. They put their life on the line to save like other people and aid the main hero of the show, which is Richard, the Legend of the Seeker. And this one came out sometime in the 2000s. And what's interesting about that is it was made by the same people who made the Xena show. So go figure. And it's like Netflix and Kevin wouldn't have to lie to people if these people would stop acting like little bigots. They're acting like little prejudiced. They're literally just the new form of white supremacy. It's just done online. And they're brainwashing people into thinking, oh, everything is coming to an end because the white people are getting replaced and stuff like that. And that's literally what they are. That is exactly what a hate group does. That is exactly what a cult does. That is exactly what white supremacy does. They lie to people about things that are not true, that has to deal with something that goes against them. And this is exactly how these people are. They are literally the new form of hate. And then they brainwash all of you, so all of you can like start hating in the movies and start hating the TV shows you watch and going online and just start hate, because that's what they want. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.